the only little under the weather this week. Her kids were sick, so she stayed in to be safe. Rabbi, do you do the Shalom Aleichem part at the end of Hine Matov? There's a Shalom Aleichem line. You don't do that, do you? Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Good evening. Great to see all of you here in the sanctuary. Welcome to all of you, Bruchim Habaim, who are watching the live stream at home. I'm Rabbi Matt Berger. Allison, unfortunately, I learned a few hours ago, has a little bug. She's a bit under the weather, so hopefully she feels better soon. But I am joined by our accompanists down at the piano, Joy, Katz, and Guthrie. So it will be a dynamic duo instead of a fantastic trio this particular evening. You'll be able to follow along all of the various prayers, blessings, and songs in the service right on the screen. If you'd like to pick up a Sidur, Mishkan Tefillah, dwelling place of prayer, turning to page 10. You'll find the words to Hine Matov, how good it is to be together, Psalm 133. Hine Matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine Matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. Hine Matov, umanayim, shevet achim, gam yachad. This evening, we are going to honor our military veterans who are here and who are throughout our community, those who selflessly served our country. We will continue now with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Any ladies who are here who would like to come forward and assist with the lighting as well as the blessing, which you can find on page 2, I'll invite you to come forward. We'll sing Light These Lights. hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Say Shabbat Shalom and Yasher Koach. Well done. Thank you for leading us in prayer. This evening we call to mind and to heart our congregational connections to Veterans Day and honor members of our community who served in the armed forces, protecting our democracy, our freedom, and our way of life. The Jewish community has a very proud history in the U.S. Armed Forces, with Jews protecting and defending America since before the Revolutionary War. That history continues today as close to 10,000 Jewish men and women currently serve in our nation's military. To all who fight for freedom then, now, and always, you have our gratitude. Veterans Day is a reminder that our nation has truly been strengthened through the service and sacrifice of so many heroes, and we honor their commitment during this Shabbat service. Turning now to our prayer for Israel as our hearts and eyes turn eastward toward the holy city. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. May you bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces and all who stand guard to protect our people. Shield them from all troubles and injury. Help them secure freedom without loss of life for all those held captive by the enemy. May they have strength and courage of heart. Let's do a fun version of Lecha Dodi, that well-known Kabbalat Shabbat poem that you'll find on page 20 and 21. Beloved, come to meet the bride, the presence of Shabbat. We're going to be doing this to Simon and Garfunkel's Scarborough Fair. Lecha dodi likrat gala, b'nei Shabbat yekabla. Lecha dodi likrat gala, b'nei Shabbat yekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha, tishlihanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, v'shem ol tiferet v'litila. Likrat Shabbat lechuvenecha, ki mekor haberacha, verosh mikedem nesucha, sof mahaseh v'machshavat tila. Hidoreri, hidoreri, hivahorek umiori, uri, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alai kigla. Let's rise and face the doorway, greeting the Shabbat bride. Go'i v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha b'sola, toch emunei am segula. Boi kala, boi kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat yekabla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat yekabla. Feel free to be seated. We'll continue with the half or Chatzi Kaddish words of praise on 26. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yeshme Rabba Mevara, Le'ala Mulal Mehamaya, Yitbarak, Yitbarak V'yishtabah, V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha Brichu, Le'la Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tushmechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yama, v'meru, amen. Shema and its blessings are found on page 28. Let's rise for the call to prayer, the Baruch. Lai 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 lai, Yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, lai lai. Please join me reading Ma'ariv Aravim, a prayer for creation, page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. And words of love, Ahavat Olam, on 33. Join me. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll sing Open Up Our Eyes together. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your need, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your need, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vayed. Feel free to be seated. Let's chant the words of the V'ahavta together on 36, loving God with all of our heart, soul, and might. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בבית, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Let's continue with words of truth and faith on 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we are taught wherever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to go from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Let's sing Mi Chamocha, who is like you, God. Hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi hamocha neda b'kodesh, norati lo oseh belen, norati lo oseh belen. Malachutecha ra'u banecha, okei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu ve'amru, ze'elianu ve'amru. Adonai lo le'olam va'ed, Adonai lo le'olam va'ed. Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi hamocha neda b'kodesh, norati lo oseh belen, norati lo oseh belen. On page 42, you'll find words of shelter. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us between thy wings, O Adonai, guard us from all harmful things. O Adonai, keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Blessed are you, guardian of Israel. Shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Let's rise now for our standing prayers, the words of the tefillah, which begin with us opening our mouths in praise. Words begin on 46. Adonai sefata tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Isaac, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Omel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasei Avot V'imahot, U'mevei Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rakamim Rabim, Somek Noflim V'Rofek Olim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Givurot, U'Mido Mela, Melech Meimit U'Mechayeh, U'Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah L'Chayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'Kol Yom Yalu Chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Blessed are you, the holy God. Feel free to be seated. Blessings 4 through 7 begin on 55, a prayer for the holiness of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On the following page, blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Words of gratitude called hoda'ah are found on 59. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lechodot. And finally, Birkat Shalom, our prayer of peace, on 60. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Grant peace to Israel, your people, forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel and every season and moment with your peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. And let's sing O Say Shalom together. You can find the text on page 62 in your prayer books. O say shalom imromah, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Let's turn to our prayer of healing, Misha Berach, that you'll find on page 253 in your prayer books. We think of families recovering from the wars going on in and around Israel, as well as in the Ukraine, hoping and praying for their physical and emotional recovery. We also think of the following individuals in our community for strength and courage: Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Reuven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Tina Bruns, Larry Kane, Tyler Chang, Kate Fagan, Heather Felser, Harry Fleisch, Mitchell Freifeld, David Freelander, Lenore Goldsmith, Carl Greenbaum, Don Hirschman, Joyce Holbrook, Jim Howard, Kathy Howard, Phyllis King, Irene Lipensky, Jerry Longerich, Jonathan Marks, Tova Marks, Michael Renzino, Stephanie Ross, Angie Sermenis, Jeff Stark, Carrie Taylor, Grace Tribbiano, Greg Tribbiano, and James Vaccarelli. If there are any other names to add, feel free. Mishebera avotenu mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Ishebera imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. General Marshall, who was the Chief of Staff of the United States Army, is visiting his colleague, General Goldstein, the Commander-in-Chief of the Israeli Defense Forces. Upon his arrival at the military base, Marshall is personally greeted by Goldstein. And after a long and thorough tour by jeep, Marshall asks, "So, Goldstein, how's the fitness of your soldiers?" "Well, they're very well trained." "I certainly hope so," Marshall says. "You see, my soldiers in the Army are incredibly well trained. In fact, they're the bravest and most courageous soldiers in the world." Taken aback, General Goldstein replies, "Well, I'm not so sure about that, General. My soldiers are pretty brave, too." Marshall replies, "Well, I'd like to see that." Eager to prove his point, General Goldstein calls Private Barak over and says, "Private Barak, I want you to stand right in front of that Merkava tank and stop it just by standing in front of it." Looking quizzically at his commanding officer, Private Barak says, "What are you, nuts, General? That would kill me. Are you some kind of a fool?" Goldstein then turns to Marshall and says, "So, did you see that? You have to be pretty brave to talk like that to a general." A little bit of Israeli military humor for you. This evening, in honor of Veterans Day, I'd like to share a very special story about bravery with you, a true story, though not many people are familiar with it. It involves courage on the battlefield and speaks to the importance of overcoming discrimination and intolerance, offering a vision of the United States as a country free from religious prejudice and hate, while at the same time honoring the brave men and women who selflessly serve in the armed forces. It took place during World War II, during the Battle of Iwo Jima and its aftermath. Iwo Jima is a very small but strategic island located about 650 miles south of Tokyo. I'll ask our tech team to show a map of the area on the screen. Hopefully right in the middle, you can see that Iwo Jima in that large capital print. It's about halfway between the military bases at Mariana Islands, where Guam is, and the mainland of Japan. Now, the Imperial Japanese Army believed it was essential to maintain control of Iwo Jima to prevent the U.S. from using it as a staging ground to invade Japan, which is exactly what the U.S. Marine Corps and Navy wanted to do. Approximately 21,000 Japanese soldiers defended Iwo Jima. Most were burrowed beneath a heavily fortified network of bunkers, while some of them were hidden behind artillery positions above ground. It meant that there were no front lines. American soldiers bravely fought above ground, and Japanese soldiers fought from below. Among the 110,000 Marines transported to the island on 880 ships, there were about 1,500 Jewish soldiers. Though many, many thousands of American troops were killed during this battle, eventually our military prevailed. And the picture taken on Mount Suriachi, raising the flag on Iwo Jima, remains one of the most powerful symbols of our military's bravery in combat. After the fighting was over, the 5th Division of the Marines Protestant chaplain, his name was Warren Cuthriel, asked his Jewish colleague, Rabbi Roland Gittleson, to prepare and deliver a memorial service at a non-denominational ceremony dedicating the new Marine cemetery. I'll ask our tech team to show a picture of Chaplain Gittleson. He's all the way on the right with the prayer shawl or talit, leading prayers with Jewish soldiers. Though Rabbi Gittleson was a pacifist by nature, he understood that World War II aptly fit the Jewish criteria of a just war. The Hebrew phrase for this is called milchemet mitzvah, literally a commanded war. It harkens back to biblical times when God told the Israelites to go to battle against enemies like Amalek or the various nations of Canaan, called Canaan in Hebrew. Because of this biblical reasoning, Rabbi Gittleson volunteered to serve as a chaplain in the Marine Corps. Throughout the Battle of Iwo Jima, he courageously provided spiritual support to American combat soldiers, regardless of their faith, ethnicity, or background. For his bravery, Gittleson was awarded 3 Marine Combat Action ribbons. Gittleson worked throughout the night on his sermon in memory of his fallen comrades. Yet the prejudice of the day came to the fore. Many of the Protestant and Catholic chaplains expressed their concern that a rabbi and a Jew would offer prayers over non-Jewish graves at the Marine cemetery. While Chaplain Cuthriel didn't agree with the other chaplains, Gittleson suggested a middle ground to hold 3 separate services. Only 70 soldiers and some chaplains attended the Jewish service led by Rabbi Gittleson. I'll share an excerpt from his beautiful and meaningful sermon. He said, "We dedicate ourselves first to live together in peace the way they fought and are buried in war. Here lie soldiers who loved America because their ancestors helped in her founding generations ago, along with soldiers who loved America with equal passion because they themselves or their own fathers escaped from oppression to her blessed shores. Here lie officers and men, blacks and whites, rich men and poor together. Here are Protestants, Catholics, and Jews together. Here no soldier prefers another because of their faith or despises them because of their color. Here there are no quotas of how many from each group are admitted or allowed. Among these soldiers, there is no discrimination, no prejudices, no hatred. Theirs is the highest and purest form of democracy. Out of this will come, we promise, the birth of a new freedom for all humanity everywhere." Among the chaplains, the few of them who attended the Jewish service, one of them borrowed a copy of Rabbi Gittleson's sermon. Then he made a number of duplicates, which he sent out to thousands of soldiers. And many of these soldiers who received the sermon sent the sermon home in letters to their loved ones back in America. Later, the sermon was shared on air by the Armed Forces Radio and subsequently broadcast throughout the entire world. Everyone was touched by Rabbi Gitelson's poetic, forward-thinking prose, especially Americans. After the war, Rabbi Gitelson served Temple Israel in Boston for a number of decades. On the 50th anniversary of the dedication of the Iwo Jima Memorial in Washington, D.C., he was invited to reread his sermon. Before reading it, he noted, "I often wondered if anyone would ever have heard my Iwo Jima sermon, if not for the bigoted attempt to ban it." I first learned about his sermon while studying with Rabbi Gitelson's successor at Temple Israel, Rabbi Bernard Melman, almost 30 years ago. How remarkable it was that Gitelson, a pacifist, penned one of the most important sermons in American military history, especially considering the words were written in the 1940s when religious prejudice against Jews was quite prevalent in the armed forces. The words Gitelson shared in memory of his fallen comrades are no less true today. As a Jewish leader, he believed that the role of a rabbi was to inspire and lead by positive example. He was guided by the wisdom of Torah, which proclaims that everyone is created in God's image, B'Tselem Elohim. He looked beyond differences that frequently sowed division, religion, ethnicity, and background. But he cared for everyone equally. Halavai, how wonderful it would be if people believed in this biblical teaching and put it into practice today. Every year on Veterans Day, we honor living veterans as well as the memory of veterans past. Many of us here may have a special affinity for family members who have served in the military. Jews have served in the U.S. Armed Forces since before our country's inception. Jewish settlers in New Amsterdam as early as the 1650s petitioned the local governor to be part of the defense force of the city. In recognition of their bravery, thousands of American Jews have received combat medals and ribbons for their heroism in wartime. Tonight, we pay tribute to all the veterans who have served our country and express our gratitude for their courage and selflessness. Let us do our part to uphold the values of freedom as well as the inherent dignity of every single human being through the kindness and generosity of spirit that we can share with one another. Then we will truly become, as the prophet Isaiah asks us to be, a light unto the nation. Shabbat Shalom. So if there are any veterans here, I know there's at least one, two. I'll invite you to come forward. You'll find on the next slide a special prayer that all of us can recite together. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to join me and the rest of the congregation, we can read together. Compassionate God, source of mercy, we pay tribute to those who have served our country and express our gratitude for their courage and selflessness, both those among us today and those of generations past. May we uphold the values of freedom and the dignity of every human being by the way we show goodness and kindness to each other. May we lead the word by example and become, as the prophet Isaiah teaches, a light unto the nation. Then will the labors and sacrifices of these veterans be honored, not by word alone, but by. To each of you, I say, Toda Rabbah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. While you're up here, why don't you help us open the ark as we continue with the words of the Aleinu, the adoration, that you'll find on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breishi, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahim, vegor aleinu kekol hamona, vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu, v'nehemar v'haya Adonai L'melech hakol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo free to be seated. Thank you so much. You'll find the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, Kaddish Tome, on page 294. We think of families in Israel and the Ukraine in the period of Shloshim, first 30 days, mourning their loved ones for those killed in battle. We also mark the yahrzeit anniversary of passing of the following individuals in our community: Lois Bauk, Charlotte Bernard, Faye Rosen Bolanek, William Borger, Charles Bornstein, Minnie Brand, Mary Chapman, David Donaldson, Evelyn Edelman, Stephen Gleboff, Leah Gottlieb, Annette Gum, Larry Hills, Lester Levy, Paige Levy, Michael Lowett, Phyllis Mann, Morse L. Newman, Sanford Oif, Larry Plevin, Wesley Reeves, Rose Rosenthal, Jules Roth, Harry Sayoff, Eva Sandstrom, Sydney Shear, Rita Silverman, Gerald Smolensky, Barney Tapper, Morris Turner, Cheryl Watsky, Bertha Weiss, and Peter Wind. Are there any other names to add for yahrzeit? Thank you. Yes. We say, Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of these good people continue to be a loving blessing in their family and loved ones' lives as we rise to offer the words of Kaddish praise together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudashah b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, and throughout the world, as we say, Amen. V'meru, 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 Amen. V'imru, 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 Amen. Feel free to be seated. You'll find the Shabbat Kiddush on page 5. The last 3 weeks we had bar and bat mitzvah students, including my daughter, lead this, so now it is up to me. I think I can take care of it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei bari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'avahu v'ratzon inhilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit kihu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. L'chaim, to life. Avi, come on forward, the only teen in the house. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Te'avon, enjoy. The last 3 weeks he was asking me, when am I going to be able to drink the Kiddush grape juice again? I said, tonight. All right. Announcements. Many thanks to Joy for helping me lead the service along with our tech team. Barb and Sophia, she did a lot of singing tonight too, which is wonderful. And our greeters, Phoebe, Saul, and David. For those with very small ones, there's going to be Tot Shabbat or Kids Shabbat tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the Children's Library. And here on the Bima in the Sanctuary with Ron Gilberg, our Shabbat Minyan will also begin at 9 a.m., followed by breakfast, which is being cooked by the Brotherhood. My adult ed class, Torah Today, will share how the stories of the Bible remain as relevant as ever. That's going to be Monday, this upcoming, November 18th at 1 p.m. in the library, in person. Our community October 7th commemoration, the rescheduled date, is this upcoming Tuesday, November 19th 6 to 8 p.m. at Central Park Performing Arts Center in Largo. Co-sponsored by the Pinellas County Board of Rabbis and Jewish Federation. RSVP for our family game nights. So there's going to be mahjong, tons of board games, good for families, singles, everywhere in between. This upcoming Wednesday, November 20th at 6 p.m. with a potluck food. Our bike club will ride on Thursday, November 21st, busy week at 10 a.m. at the Long Center down in Clearwater. Our community interfaith Thanksgiving service will take place Monday, November 25th, 7 p.m., right down the road at All Saints Church in Clearwater. We also partner with St. Alfred's Episcopal Church next door. Following the service, join us for a nice oneg Shabbat dessert in the social hall. And our closing song is very patriotic. I'll ask us to rise for America the Beautiful. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy hood with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Shabbat shalom, everyone.